When and how will your ex start missing you after a breakup? You can find many answers to this question on the internet. Some believe that just one action, like ignoring her, is enough, and she'll definitely suffer. Some bloggers, mostly women, say that you just need to be there for her. Help, but don't impose. Then your girl or wife will melt. She'll realize you've changed and come back to you. Others take a more radical view, claiming that your ex doesn't give a damn about you and won't even remember you after the breakup. But these are all misconceptions. The actual adaptation mechanism of a woman's psyche to a breakup works entirely differently. So in this video, I'll explain step by step when and how your ex will start missing you after a breakup. First stage, relief. It starts immediately after the breakup. At this stage, the woman is convinced that she will be better off without you. She's convinced there's no future with you. Why does she think so? Maybe you were a good guy, did everything for her, but she lacked emotions in the relationship. Or she broke you psychologically, you became submissive, and she lost interest in you. Even if she still has feelings for you, she still thinks there are no prospects in a relationship with you. For example, because you didn't pay attention, cheated, drank, partied. She thinks that after the breakup, she'll meet a new man, caring and understanding, not like you. And she'll build harmonious relationships with him, where she'll be truly happy. So it doesn't matter why the breakup happened. When a woman breaks up with you, she has a dream she's striving for. And this dream isn't related to you. Some call this state head in the clouds. I'll draw an analogy. When a child asks their parents to buy a kitten, they don't understand that with the kitten, they'll not only play, but also have to clean up its poop. And only when the child finally gets a pet, they realize that reality is very different from their fantasies. Second stage, destruction of fantasies. When she faces harsh reality. At this stage, the woman realizes that things are not as rosy as she calculated. It's not that easy to find a man. And if she finds someone, somehow, he turns out not to be the empathetic and understanding prince on a white horse she was waiting for. Additionally, she has to face solving numerous domestic problems, especially if she lives in a rented apartment, pays loans. And it's even harder for a woman if she has a child she needs to care for. Third stage, loss of a backup plan. At this stage, there's a full collision with harsh reality. If before you demonstrated in every possible way that you're ready for anything just to get her back, continued to help the ex solve her problems, especially giving money. At such a moment, the woman was in a comfort zone. She understood that she has support in you, a backup plan, to which she can always return. But one day you stopped helping her, she started solving all her problems independently. At such a moment, the woman fully collided with harsh reality and left the comfort zone. But I'm not now calling to do any nasty things to the ex. For example, put sugar in her car's gas tank. I'm talking about something else. You just deprive her of your support. Stop caring for her the way you did before, as when you were together. Stop paying her loans, helping with her apartment's repair. Stop driving her to work. Now she has to do all this herself. But what if you gave your ex a promise? Let's say, to help her with paying for studies. You gave this promise when your status was completely different. You were in a relationship. Now you're not together, so all agreements are null and void. Yes, if you have children, you can't abandon them. They need care. They need help. But I know many stories where a man paid alimony and the woman spent it on herself. And the children got only pennies. This shouldn't happen. Children are children. You are responsible for them. But you no longer bear responsibility for your grown-up ex-wife, especially if she left you. And don't fall for manipulations like, give me money for car repairs. I drive your children in it. If your car breaks down, driving the kids, she won't give you money for repairs. So after the breakup, the woman solves all her household problems herself. She's an adult, and you're not her daddy. But that's not all. Comfort zone is also about your happiness. If the ex sees how you suffer without her, how bad your life is, then she will feel on a female intuition level that she could get you back if she wants. So it's crucial to set up your life without her. And, in particular, communication with the opposite sex. Then the ex will understand that you not only don't care about her, but you're also emotionally unavailable. And then she'll finally realize that she lost the backup plan in you. Fourth stage, transferring you to the role of asshole. By the way, after a breakup, you're in the role of asshole by default for her. Because she doesn't see a future with you. She believes she wasted her time on you, and you didn't meet her expectations. And if, after your breakup, you continued to humiliate yourself in front of her, begging to return, awkwardly tried to control her, even made a scene with her new suitor, Then, it's safe to say you voluntarily took on the asshole function. But it's not that simple. It's convenient for a woman to see an asshole, a loser in you, because then she can be firmly convinced that her decision to leave was the only correct one. And when you leave her alone, she might start blaming you for all her troubles. And she might deliberately provoke you into scandals and confrontations. If you fall for it, you'll end up in the role of an asshole. So it's essential to show the woman that you're no longer ready to clarify relationships and figure out who's at fault. You broke up, and clarifications should have been done when you were still together. In such a case, the woman will understand that you're not going to humiliate yourself, you don't fall for provocations. And only then will she finally realize that there's no negative character in her life anymore. Fifth stage. Stage of impotence. This is a very emotionally difficult stage for a woman. When she realizes it will never be the same, you're not in her life anymore. The new life she dreamed of, she can't make it work. And then the ex starts to suffer. Signs of this stage include bruises under the woman's eyes, weight loss, apathy, irritability, a tendency to consume alcohol. I won't go into detail about this now, as I've covered this question in the video titled, The Ex Reminds of Herself. Is she suffering or manipulating? How to understand. Be sure to watch. It will be useful and interesting. What else I want to note? Precisely at the stage of impotence, a woman starts rethinking her values. She realizes that her expectations did not match reality. She remembers all the good things that were between you before. Sixth stage. Attempt to return. At this stage, many men make serious mistakes. If you understand that your ex is a problematic woman with whom it's better not to get involved, then just ignore her attempts at reconciliation and build your life without her. Don't compromise with yourself and choose a compromise option like, I'll meet her, and we'll see, or I'll use her only for intimacy. If you continue to communicate with her, the woman will shake you emotionally, and you will again be drawn into destructive relationships for you. But if you're thinking about restoring relationships, always keep in mind that a woman's task is not to make the first step herself, but to provoke you into showing activity. So she might start liking your stories on social networks. She might write something supposedly friendly to you, might ask you for help with something. And if you immediately open up, offer her to start over, the ex will just close her gestalts. She'll understand that you still love her. Understand that she still has a backup plan, and lose interest in you. So I recommend acting differently. You can communicate with the ex, you can even have intimacy with her, but it's important that the initiative for meetings comes more from her side, and the balance of investments is at the level of 60 to 40, or even 70 to 30. Accordingly, the woman should invest more. Why is that? Probably after the breakup, you tip the balance of significance, and it needs to be restored to raise your value for the woman. So you don't need to let her get too close too quickly. Let her think you're still doubting. Should you get back together or not? Then your value will grow even faster. And only after a month can you talk about being together again. I'll immediately answer the common questions that will surely arise. Why are there situations when the ex starts begging to come back in tears just a few days after the breakup? This is because your significance for her is high. And this is, rather, not even a breakup, but a serious quarrel. Or, maybe, she's just manipulating the breakup. So it's one thing when nothing foretold a serious crisis, you quarreled and temporarily stopped communicating. But it's quite another when the crisis in your relationship arose a long time ago. The woman was mentally preparing for the breakup for several weeks or even months, and only then you separated. In such a case, she's unlikely to beg to come back the next day. She needs to go through all the stages I've talked about in today's article. Next question. Can a woman suffer but not try or want to come back? Yes, this often happens with people with an avoidant attachment type. Due to psychological traumas from the past, it's hard for them to take steps towards closeness. But besides that, an ex-girlfriend or wife may not want to come back to you because your significance for her is still low. Yes, she's having a hard time. She couldn't realize her dreams after the breakup. But at the same time, she doesn't believe that restoring relationships with you will bring her relief. So she tries to adapt to a new, gray life on her own. This explains the position of some radically minded women who say all men are bastards. Such a woman has gone through several painful breakups. Disappointed in men. She couldn't deal with her psychological problems. Couldn't understand the mistakes she made in past relationships. So she got herself a company of divorced girlfriends, cat facility, and sits on women's forums, thinking everything in her life is good, and all men are bastards. Next question. Can it happen that the ex doesn't start suffering? Yes, if she sets up her life without you and meets another man. Such cases also happen. That's why if you want to restore relationships, I don't recommend sending the woman to ignore. Because the longer you drag out the decision, the greater the likelihood that she'll learn to live without you and find another man. Therefore, the emotional swing that I use works much more effectively. And if you have questions left, you broke up with a woman and want to get her back, or you just need to analyze your mistakes and recover morally, sign up for a consultation with me. We can meet and conduct it personally, or we can do it online via video or audio call.